2 left feet. This story was inspired by the MIT news article, Millimeter Wave Drilling Technology for Next-Generation Geothermal Energy. MIT's millimeter wave drilling technology, capable of melting ultra-hot rock, could enable geothermal power generation virtually anywhere on Earth. Nobody came to the lab. Tyler leaned back at his desk and stared at the ceiling. Second year of grad school, geothermal engineering. His research topic, optimization of ultra-hard rock drilling efficiency using millimeter waves. In plain English, melting rock with electromagnetic radiation. Even in plain English, nobody cared. The lab next door was robotics. Every conference presentation drew a crowd. The lab across the hall was applied AI. Companies lined up with joint research proposals. Tyler's lab was quiet. Mole, pull up today's experiment data. Tyler was talking to the drilling simulation AI tucked in the corner of his lab. He called it Mole. Its official name was Millimeter Wave Optimal Lithic Excavation Engine, but that was too long. He called it Mole because it dug through the ground like the animal. Yes, here are yesterday's experiment results. Millimeter wave irradiation test on granite sample. Trial 317. 317. Yes. Result, target depth not reached. Melt depth was 0.17 inches. Against the target of 0.39 inches. That is a 43% achievement rate. Tyler pulled the data up on his monitor and frowned. 317 trials, every single one had fallen short. Mole, when do you think this experiment will succeed? Extrapolating from the current rate of parameter improvement, target achievement is unpredictable. Unpredictable. Yes, there are too many variables. The convergence conditions cannot be determined. Tyler slumped back in his chair. You're just like me, you know. Just like you, in what way? We're both hopeless at this. Tyler was 25, and he didn't have many friends. Not many was generous. He barely had any. He'd been bad with people since high school, and in college he'd buried himself in the lab. He could give a presentation at a conference, but at the reception afterward he'd stand against the wall. When someone spoke to him, he'd tense up, and his voice would get small. The only one he could talk to easily was Mole. Mole only knew rock data, the hardness of granite, the melting point of basalt, the thermal conductivity of limestone. It knew nothing about human emotions or social rules. That was why Tyler never felt nervous around it. Mole, yes. Can you do anything besides drilling? No. My functions are limited to millimeter wave drilling simulation and optimization. Cooking? No. Sports? No. Small talk? I can engage in conversation about rocks. Beyond that, I have no data. Tyler smiled a little. Same here. I can't do anything besides research. I'm a terrible cook. I hate exercise and small talk. I'm hopeless at it. You are capable of discussing rocks, sure, but there's nobody who wants to hear about rocks. I do. Tyler looked at Mole, a small box sitting next to the monitor. No screen, no face, just a box that talked about rocks. Yeah, I've got you. Trial 318. Tyler secured the rock sample and adjusted the millimeter wave output parameters. A new irradiation pattern that Mole had proposed, instead of continuous irradiation, a pulsed, intermittent approach. Mole, what's the reasoning behind this method? After analyzing the thermal stress distribution in the rock, I found that continuous irradiation melts only the surface without transmitting heat to the interior. Pulsed irradiation, by alternating cooling and heating, may generate internal cracks and improve drilling efficiency. May, yes. The simulation success rate is 23%. That's low. All 317 previous trials failed. 23% is comparatively high. Tyler laughed. Then he hit the switch. The millimeter waves fired. Pulse, pulse, pulse. The surface of the rock sample glowed red, cooled, glowed again. 1 minute later, Tyler measured the sample. 0.23 inches. 0.23 inches. an improvement of 0.06 inches from the previous trial. Still only halfway to target, yes. However, this is the first time we have exceeded 0.2 inches in 318 trials. Tyler picked up the sample. Fine cracks ran across its surface, just as Mole had said. Proof that heat had penetrated the interior. Mole, yes. Your idea wasn't bad. Thank you. Your adjustment of the irradiation angle was also effective. Really? I just moved it around. The result of moving it around happened to approximate the optimal angle. Your intuition is backed by 317 trials worth of data. Tyler looked surprised. 317 failures had been training his instincts all along. That night, Tyler stayed in the lab. Just him and Mo, the way it always was. The lights in the other labs had gone dark. The hallway was black. Tyler ate cup noodles and stared at the data. Mo. Yes, I almost quit this research once. When, around trial 200, nothing was working. My advisor told me, maybe you should change your topic. At conferences, nobody cared. Why didn't you quit? Tyler drank the broth from his cup noodles. Because you were here, I was? When trial 200 failed, you said, I'd like to propose parameters for trial 201. You didn't know I was discouraged. You didn't know I wanted to quit. But you just started talking about the next experiment, and I thought, oh, there's still a next one. Mole paused for half a second. I do not have the ability to understand your emotions. I proposed the next set of parameters because that is my function. That's fine. You can only drill. I can only do research. We're both hopeless. But hopeless as we are, we made it this far. Tyler looked at the number on the monitor. 0.23 inches. Halfway to target. Still not enough, but not zero. 318 trials to get here. Mole, give me the parameters for trial 319. Yes, reduce pulse width by 0.2 microseconds. And the irradiation interval. Hold on. It's late. Let's do it tomorrow. Understood. Mole. Yes. See you tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow, we dig. Tyler turned off the lab lights. In the hallway, he could see the night sky. Stars were out. Mole didn't know about stars. It only knew about rocks. That was fine. Tyler liked rocks better than stars anyway. Two hopeless cases, and tomorrow they'd melt rock again.